Welcome back to the Public Pool Podcast. I'm Michaela Pascal, and this is the wickedly talented Jack O'Shea.
Athleticism. Welcome back.
Welcome back.
This is the first time in a minute where we're not drinking Red Bull while we do this.
Yeah.
A little bit concerned. I feel like I kind of feel like there's a lot of baseball players who, when they're all on steroids for like a decade.
Uh-huh.
And then they banned the steroids, and it was only some players got caught being on steroids, but then the second that it was banned, you knew who was on steroids because they just dropped out of the major leagues. It's like, oh, he can no longer really hit the ball that far.
Yeah.
Like, okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Like, that's all the evidence we need. Yeah, technically they didn't test positive, but they might as well have.
Yeah. That's you right now?
I'm just worried that's going to be me, where it's going to be like, he doesn't have his fire.
Yeah.
You know, his special something, his sparkle.
Losing our spark. Yeah, it's a little late right now. It's like past 9 p.m. This is so late for us. But we slept weird. I woke you up this morning via exorcism at like 6 a.m.
Yeah, that was strange. It was a dream.
Sorry. I was awoken by Mother Nature this morning. I just had...
What's the deal with you bitches using... Yeah, I said it. With you, everything's Mother Nature, and there's these weird analogies of a lot of like mysticism of like...
Okay, my menstruation. Is that what you want me to say?
Your period.
My period.
Yeah, your period.
I was menstruating, okay? I was awoken by my period cramps.
You know what's a thing?
I was trying to be ladylike because you always get on me for being crass.
That's very different. There's,
you don't like what I say that someone's showing hole.
I literally told you to stop talking. We were walking back from the gym, and she just said, yeah, that one lady, I saw her bend down. I was like, easy girl, you're showing hole. And I said, just stop. I said, I need a 5-minute break. I need a 5-minute break from just whatever. You're on this path where it's like, I feel like my wife is Howard Stern, a Howard Stern guest.
I always have been. And it's so funny because it's like, for some reason on camera, I really hold back.
Yeah.
Because I don't, for some reason, it feels like when I watch myself back on video and I talk like that, for some reason, I feel like it's coming off forced. Like I'm trying to be cool or something. And I'm like, no, I just talk like that. Like everything I say is just very crass.
Like when the Democrats all released the same video where they're like, that ain't shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not the saying the S word. Why are you guys all saying ain't?
Yeah.
Like that actually feels kind of inappropriate.
Yeah.
Some of you guys shouldn't be saying ain't.
Yeah.
In that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were woken up by your period.
Gross.
And you're right. It was definitely kind of exorcism vibes.
It was very exorcism vibes this morning. I haven't had a period like that in a minute where it like woke me up and I basically was just like rolling around in bed, moaning and groaning.
I just woke up to going,
Yeah, that's basically.
But you were also in the position, correct me if I'm wrong, because when I wake up, I'm still dreaming for about an hour. Uh-huh. So especially now, it was like I had been asleep for like a couple hours or 3 hours at that point. You were in the position that when you get really detailed about stuff, said that's how you're supposed to give birth. You're kind of like bent over, like this is how you're supposed to do it. Am I wrong?
I feel like you're supposed to give birth like on all fours. Like that's
what I
say.
mean. You were in that position.
But I was like crouched down. I was.
Yes.
Is that called like child's pose? What's the yoga pose?
I think that's what child's pose is. I think that is.
I think that might be child's pose.
It's like a downward dog, but then you go all the way down.
It was like knees are all the way down. Like I'm like curled up. Like I'm trying to be a transformer going back into a car. You looked like that's the best way I know how to describe it.
You looked like a dog who was in heat trying to get some, basically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That was the only way I can get comfortable this morning.
And I mean, that alone, like imagine you wake up and your wife or your husband.
Or your partner.
Yeah, partner.
There you go.
Sad piece is like, even if you were still asleep, I would have woken up being like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Because you were just in that position.
Yeah.
And it was a strange thing to see when I woke up.
I didn't even really know what I was doing.
I felt so bad for you, though.
I just knew I was trying to get comfortable.
I just felt so bad for you, though, the whole time. I hope our listeners don't think I'm being like,
oh, yeah, no, you're very kind.
I was really concerned.
You were trying to rub my back.
Oh, yeah, I was like trying my best. But at the same time, too, I was also trying to keep the dogs away from you.
Yeah.
Because they also were like, why is mom trying to get some? Is mom in heat? And I was like, no. And so I was holding both of them, but then trying to rub your back with one hand. And then you came back up. You went downstairs to get something, and then you came back upstairs, and you immediately started doing in the same position again. And I was like, "What is happening? I'm still dreaming."
I was in so much pain.
I know. You feeling okay?
I'm just tired.
You're Mrs. Midol today.
Yeah, I'm Mrs. Midol. Yeah.
Why is everything though acetaminophen? Acetaminophen, if you don't know, is Tylenol.
Girl, I don't know.
Because that's the one where you really can't take. Like you can accidentally take a few too many of the other one.
Don't they kind of do different things? Like, I don't know.
No, they do roughly the same thing.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, but like
they're both
Like,
anti-inflammatories.
but there's like different reasons for each.
They're not like antibiotics where it's like, no, this antibiotic is better for a sore throat. Like yes and no. And I think that it's one of those things where it's like kind of Pepsi, Coke more, where it's actually more like your preference and people's bodies respond differently.
I feel like there's a reason though.
I think honestly, if you get down to it, I bet you acetaminophen is cheaper.
Maybe.
I feel like that's why. It's whenever there's like this is a this plus a this, they're like, well, let's put the freaking cheap one in.
Yeah, I guess so.
The issue is if you accidentally take 3, it kills your entire liver.
Yes.
It's like, that's happened to me before. It stinks.
Yeah.
It's really scary.
Yeah, no, that's a scary thing. Yeah, I think I used to all the time growing up just like pop everything. Like I just was like, whatever to make me feel better. But like as I've gotten older, I've been like almost so like I don't want to take something until I have to.
Yeah.
You know, like for some reason I'm so like I'm going to treat my body like a temple and I'm not going to take Advil. And it's like, girl, take Advil. Like you are so miserable. Like we live in the modern day. Take medicine.
Just
like,
take the freaking pills. Take the pills.
Like, there's like a weird thing where it's like every time I'm on my period, I'm like, I don't really want to take anything until I have to. Like same thing with a headache. I'm like, I don't really want to until I have to.
Have you ever met somebody who actually treats their body like a temple? And by here, let me define what treating your body like a temple would be. And newsflash, it does not include journaling about your body.
Wrong.
It does not include appreciating yourself. No, I mean, actually eating healthy, actually getting really good night's sleep, actually exercising a substantial amount, like is with no party favors added.
With no party favors. I mean, like probably, but like,
no
one comes to mind for me.
I feel like everybody I've met where I'm like, oh yeah, that person's in really good shape. They do 2 of the 3.
Yeah.
Like,
or like the people you meet who like really are like this, and this, they're kind of the people I don't really want to be around.
Yeah. Maybe that's why we don't know them.
That's why.
Because we're like, they're insufferable.
Yeah. And I'm always like, good for you. But I feel like they never want to shut up about it.
But there's got to be a few quiet ones.
There's got to be a few quiet ones.
There was a kid who I grew up with where he had like some like birth defects and stuff where I don't know if I told this on the podcast, where he couldn't taste anything.
Oh, you've told me about him. I don't think you've talked about it on the podcast.
Great guy. One time, quick story about him really quick, I'll never forget, is in high school, or not high school, in like middle school, I was actually pretty fast. Believe it or not. Like I was like one of the fast kids, which is so weird because then but
you never want to race me.
I just don't. No, I'm gonna baton you like that one girl. But like by accident. I run like a gorilla with my arms astray.
I know. Every time I'm drunk, I want to race you, and you never do.
Which, think about that. Why don't you when you're sober?
I don't know. Something about alcohol makes me want to run.
But doesn't that concern you?
Whenever I'm having alcohol, I'm usually in heels, so that's not really.
You're usually in heels. You already are pretty clumsy in general. Like, when was the last time you sprinted?
Okay, TBH.
Yeah.
I tried to in the gym like a year ago.
Yeah, how'd it go?
I was alone in the gym and I was like, I haven't like really truly tried to like run.
So you tried to do on the treadmill?
But not like full sprint, but I was like, let me kind of like bump up. Because I usually just like walk on the treadmill, like do like the incline thing.
Yeah.
And that's my cardio. But I was like, I haven't like truly tried to like run on a treadmill in a second. And I like forgot how to run.
That's what I mean. Like, I feel like the second we start to race, my clumsy in heels drunk wife is going right into a wall. Like, I don't even think we bump. It feels like when your kid says, hey, can I drive? Where it's like, no.
I will say I have though, like pretty recent in the past years, I've like raced in like a skipping manner.
You've told me that. You think you're faster skipping.
I can fly when I skip.
Well, I want to test that.
Me and my brother have like, I feel like in the past year, like raced twice while skipping. Like that's what we always do. Like we skip and we like. Whew.
Well, yeah. I mean, then you have to.
Skipping is the most efficient mode of transportation, and nobody talks about it.
You keep on saying that
because it gets you far. Life. You're not really that tired. Like
I'd argue you're more tired.
I don't think so. Every time I skip, I'm like, you really get far. You're basically jump running.
That's true. You can,
but like you're using the momentum to like kind of just like lightly lift yourself. Like,
plus, you can go longer because you feel silly.
Plus, it's whimsical.
That's what I mean. Like you're kind of like, oh, it's more fun than running. Running feels like work.
Like we have like speed walking in the Olympics. When are we going to add skipping?
I actually feel like that might be there or something.
I don't think so.
Doesn't that seem like the type of thing?
It does, but I feel like I would know because I care so deeply about skipping. Sorry, but anyways, the kid who couldn't taste.
Anyway, so we're in middle school, and I remember it was like me and my buddy, also named Jack, and my buddy Connor, where it was like we had the mile time, or maybe it was the one where I think there was like it was called like the 7-minute run or something. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, but I can infer.
We had two things. One was the mile run. They see how fast you can run the mile.
Yeah.
And then the second one was the 7 minutes. How far can you run?
Okay.
So we would always compete with each other. We were more athletic kids, and we were the 3 fastest kids. And I remember we were always the top 3 in the class for it, except for literally just one time, this kid named John smoked us. And we were like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
And I think he just kind of grinned and bared it, you know? Like he just because afterwards, I think he was like done for the day.
Yeah.
Like he threw up, he was doing all that
stuff. He gave it his all.
But I just remember like, so you have that in you.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have that in me. I couldn't go. I was going pedal to the metal. And it's like, it turns out him going there, he smoked us. Anyway, he couldn't taste. He had no taste buds. And I always was like when the kid would bring in like cupcakes for their birthday or something, he would eat them. And I was like, why? Why would you do that?
Yeah, I guess that's...
What's the joy of that? And he explained to me one time, but that was, 15 years ago. I don't remember. He just
didn't want to be left out, maybe.
I think it was something about, he was like, well, the texture feels good.
Yeah, because I guess if that's all you know, like if you can't taste, it's like you grow to be fonder of the other things. I don't know.
I feel like if I couldn't taste anything, that would be the real final frontier. No, because sleep would still be a thing.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like I'd be in the best shape ever.
Yeah.
It's like, what's the point? Like, yeah, I'm just doing spinach.
Yeah, that would be so freeing.
I think it'd be, I'm sure.
But I love food. Like, that's like the best part of life is I love going, this bitch loves to go to lunch. This bitch loves to go to dinner,
But it'd be freeing too.
But
Yeah.
I guess, I'd be so skinny. Like, I'd be.
Stop it.
You know?
Stop it.
Okay, fit, not skinny. But like, you know what I mean?
Yes, to be healthy.
Like, I wouldn't be like, I mean, I haven't asked you for a cake today. So like, that's where I'm at.
That's true. Usually when it's Michaela's time of the month.
Say period.
Period. What did you say? Mother Nature was calling or something?
I said Mother Nature came. I don't know. Yeah. You gave me a hard time. And it's Women's History Month and you're giving me a hard time.
It's herstory?
It's Herstory Month.
Ladies, it's history. There's a reason. You know what? That's one of those things where I was like, I wonder who the first person was like, what if it's her story?
Her story.
Her story. Like, give that person a freaking raise.
I know.
Because that's a really good one.
I know.
So who's your favorite historical female figure?
Ooh, good question. I'm going to go with Hilaria Baldwin.
Continue.
She's just a
when
diva.
I'm talking. When I'm talking.
No talking.
No talking. Okay? No talking.
She like did that and then she immediately went back to the normal voice.
Yeah. Because she's a liar.
Because she's a liar.
She's literally a liar.
If you guys didn't see the clip of Alec and Hilaria Baldwin.
Hilaria Baldwin, who again, if you don't know, doesn't actually have which she say she's from Spain?
Yeah, I think she was like, I was like partially raised in Spain. And so she like
Spain.
España.
Yeah. And she's been living that lie.
Yeah.
Do
you just not feel like you're gonna get caught? I don't know.
Well, you know what? Does she feel so free now that she's been caught?
I was gonna say she just might be the most free woman in the world. Who cares?
I mean, she's had her children. She's had children. They don't know. I guess my dad had a really thick Long Island accent, but then he definitely just wore out of him.
Yeah.
Like that's why when my dad has a few, every now and then he'll sound a little bit more New York.
Yeah.
But like, I don't think I never thought he's hiding it.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's what happened to her. Maybe she really was.
Well, you know what? If you go in character, I mean, there's an argument too. It's like if you go in character for so long, eventually it becomes that character.
It becomes you.
So maybe.
IDK.
But then she still should know what cucumber is in English.
How you say cucumber?
Cucumber?
That's the best clip of all
she
time.
told her mans to, when she talking, I'm talking. Que papi.
Que papi.
Got some good news.
Okay.
One of my favorite article headlines. I just go through the, which by the way, it's getting hard because literally all the subreddits and different things now, it's just Trump and Elon stuff and just be like, this person said, screw you, Trump. And they're like a million upvotes. And now I can't find any that. The article says Bruce Willis doing great as he celebrates his 70th birthday.
I was going to say, isn't it his birthday today?
It's his birthday. He's turning the big 7-0.
7-0.
And reportedly is doing great.
Okay.
I just love how that's news. So it's like,
I know.
It is kind of.
It's doing good. That's what you want to hear. It's like what I want to hear from Wendy Williams. Apparently Wendy Williams is free.
Yes.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well, what if it's different stuff, right?
Yeah.
They have different diseases.
We're learning if she truly needed a conservatorship type thing or not.
That seems like she really didn't.
So it did for a second though.
Yeah.
So there's Wendy Williams. I love Wendy Williams. God, there's been some scandals in the past couple of years where I'm like, I wish Wendy was here to really comment on it.
Weigh in.
Like I wish she was here to comment about Blake Lively. You know,
girl, she'll be back soon enough.
She will.
But is her show? I don't think they can just start the show.
I don't think so, but I feel like it's like just give her a podcast, just let her go off.
Yeah, somebody's gonna do that.
But so TMZ, I guess, did do some good for the world, and so Wendy Williams was basically. I forgot exactly what she was diagnosed with, but it was like kind of like a form of dementia type of thing. Mm-hmm. And there was kind of like a documentary made about her. And it was like, in the documentary, she was like gone. Yeah. Like she was not herself. She was like, she seems like someone who had dementia, like clearly sick. So it's like, okay, yeah, she needs help. It needs to like not be all this. Apparently she was like, so she's been in like a care facility and like everyone is in control of her money and then this and that. Mm-hmm. She's like back to normal. No,
she seems like she like is completely reverted.
And the thing is, like what she was I forget exactly what she's diagnosed with, but apparently what she was diagnosed with, you can't get better. So they misdiagnosed her, whatever it was. And it was like TMZ that like did something and like figured it out. So then they made like a special about it. And she's literally talking to him on the phone through the window of this like care facility. And she's like, no, I'm fine. And like he was asking her questions about this and that. And she was fully coherent, answering, giving opinions. Like,
so what do we think it is? Because is there like in my head, I hate this. My head immediately goes to like, okay, so is her husband keeping in her conservatorship or something?
Or her son or whatever. Because her husband was bad. So like they're not together anymore, but he like took all of her money. That was the whole thing.
Okay.
And he was cheating on her.
This is going to sound a little risky. If you were her son or her daughter or her gay child, that will always be good. Or, gay or something. If your mom was Wendy Williams.
You're trying to put her away.
After a while, I might be like, can we like just lock her in a room for a while? And like people will watch her and feed her and whatever, but just like, can I like be me for a minute without my mom being Wendy Williams?
Yeah. It's
like,
a lot.
Like, so put it this way, if it comes out that the son is the conservator, someone has to be on his side. It'll be me.
It'll be you.
I'll be like, I get it, dude, bro, I get it.
He needed a little break.
He was feeding her like lead or asbestos or something, just trying to get her enough where they lock away and throw the key. Okay. And he's like, whew. I feel free for the first time in my life. My mom isn't just saying insane shit on TV. What's the line that I almost feel bad for her. Right?
It was, I think it was Summer Walker. She said that there was like an interview or something, or she didn't want to come up to something because she did something wrong. And she was like, it's because my social anxiety. Like she didn't really seem to care about something. And she was like, I like have social anxiety. And Wendy Williams was like, you know what? I kind of feel bad for her. I feel bad for people with social anxiety. Like, clap if you feel bad.
Clap if you feel bad for people with social. Just like, she's kind of like Trisha Paytas.
Yes.
In a way.
Yeah.
But Trisha Paytas, it makes sense how Trisha Paytas made it to where she is in this world of just insanity and that gets views and followers, whatever. Wendy Williams came up the normal way.
Yeah.
In a different world.
But it was kind of like it's like she just was like so mean in like the funniest way. Like she wasn't like a comedian like Joan Rivers, but she had the Joan Rivers thing a little bit where it was like the way she criticizes people is so like, oh, you got him. Like,
but she's mean in a way where she's not like trying to make a joke or even trying to like,
she's
make
just shady,
you, like hurt you.
Yeah.
It's more like, this is how I feel. I think she's fat and she's ugly.
Yeah.
And just like
she's like,
and then is shocked when people are like, why did you say that? It's like, because I think that's what I think.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Should I not say
like
what I think?
when Adele got pregnant, she's like, guess who's jealous of Adele? Beyonce. Like,
yeah, Beyonce. Like, Wendy just gets it.
She does. I miss her.
I know.
And so I'm like, selfishly, I'm like, I hope she comes back in some medium, but I'm like, I understand if she's like, no, I just need to actually hide away.
I guess the reason why I brought up the Bruce Willis article is because if you don't know, he can't speak.
Yeah.
He also doesn't like know who he is.
Yeah.
So Bruce Willis, they make the quote seem like he said he's doing great, but someone else said that.
Someone else said it for him.
But the good news is he's doing great.
I guess like just kind of speaking of like shady and good TV. So your brother's in town. And I was explaining to him, I forgot what TLC show I was explaining to him. And then I just started going through all of the reality shows from TLC. And I was like,
insanity of it.
Nobody like gives TLC props for like, they truly have the best reality shows.
They're
in the
Wendy
world.
Williams of reality
like
TV channels.
Where it's like, they have like.
And they're the learning channel.
Yeah. It's like Little People, Big Worlds, My Strange Addiction, John and Kate +8.
Okay, so let's go through these.
Yeah.
Little People, Big World. Let's make a show about
Little People? Little People.
Shrinkies. That's a New Girl line. Let's make a show about them, and kind of the whole thing is like, look how crazy, look how weird it is.
Yeah.
They use smaller doors. So they have that one. Great. Not exploitative at all. My Strange Addiction. Let's find the most insane, mentally ill people who like eat erasers and pencils and they can't stop.
They can't stop.
What was the next one you said?
Like John and Kate +8.
Okay. Just freak shows. It's just, let's find their whole thing is, hey, we found a freak show and they're willing to go on TV.
Yes.
All the time.
Yeah,
so let's just do it.
I'm like, okay, let me look. I'm like, TLC shows. Like,
are they My 600-Pound Life too?
Yeah, like in like the 1,000-Pound Sisters.
Perfect. They find people and they put the camera on them, and the first thing they say is,
Toddlers and Tiaras. Like that's where Honey Boo Boo came from.
They basically say, "Are you guys sure you are cool with us filming this?" And they're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "That's a hit.
Yeah,
that's a hit show for us."
Like it's just so good, and like like they truly have. Like I know there's like a million I'm missing where I'm like that are even like bigger, and it's just like why like. It's weird because it's like the whole channel's branded as this kind of like, yay, like we're learning and it's this channel. And it's that. And it's like the colors almost seem so like elementary, like as a family channel. And like really it's like, this is kind of the most fucked up channel in the world.
By far.
Yeah.
No, I mean, think about how many of those shows we just listed. How many did the cast, the people in it, had happy endings?
Like very rarely.
How many of them are their lives not worse?
One of the 600-Pound Sisters very recently like got like bit by a camel, had to be like pulled out of the zoo on a stretcher, and then like the next day she got arrested. Like
wait a minute, wait.
Do you remember that?
Wait, girl, slow down. What? So you just started by saying, yeah, one of the 600-Pound Sisters, I like assume you meant like passed away or something else. But your next words were got bit by a camel
at the zoo.
I'm not going to blame TLC on that one.
No, but it's just like where you're like, do they all get happy endings? And it's no.
My question is, so she got bit by a camel and it immobilized her? I mean, she's already not very mobile, I assume.
I don't know. I think they did lose a bunch of weight. I think that's how like the end of the show was. They like, they became
500. 400.
I think maybe 3.
You think in the 3s?
2 or 3. Like they got like all like they did all the work, the surgeries. So I think they break down.
But where did they get bit by the camel that they had to be taken on a stretcher?
I don't know.
And,
but I just saw the headline.
Oh man, this is kind of mean. But can you imagine being like the stretcher holder? Like you wouldn't have to. I have to do it.
You'd have to do it.
Yeah.
It's like when we're at weddings and it's time to pick up the chair. It's like you have to do it every time.
It depends on the wedding. We were just at a wedding where they were doing the chair thing and you were like, are you going to go do it? And I was like, no, we'll look around. We were at a wedding where I was average height.
Yeah.
Everybody was like a college athlete. And it's like, oh no, I'm not doing anything.
I'm out on this.
You kidding me?
I know. But then this weekend, you just had to carry my sister.
This weekend we went to a LA Kings game with your family.
Yes.
And your sister sprained her ankle playing soccer.
Yes.
And she's new to crutches. Mm-hmm. And we had to park a little bit further away from Crypto.com Arena than we would have hoped for. And she took about 3 crutch steps and basically looked at us and was like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So when stuff like that happens, obviously Michaela's not going to carry your sister, and your brother's a good chunk smaller than me. Uh-huh. Obviously, I'm the one who's going to do it, and I'm happy to do it. I love being useful. You know that.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. There's at no point in our life will, especially if we're together, somebody be like, "Hey, we got to put them on a stretcher and move them." Is anyone like you, Michaela? Come help.
Yeah. I
can just imagine being like, "All right, we got to move it. We got to move this 300-pound camel victim." 3, 2, 1. I'd be like, dude, stop. Can we put some wheels on this puppy? Like, this is crazy. No.
I know. But yeah. And then she got like arrested like the next day. Like
for what?
I don't know. Maybe drugs. Something like that.
I mean, that's how you lose weight.
That's how you lose weight, to be fair.
Yeah. If I was one of these diet companies, I'd be like, hey, we're going to give you freaking $2 million. Mm-hmm. And we want you to just take the meth, take all the speed, all the everything like that, but then also visibly be eating, the hydroxy cut stuff.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I finally have a list of some of the TLC shows, and I'm like, okay, so here we go. So it's like we have Sister Wives, we have Say Yes to the Dress, Breaking Amish, which is I forgot.
That's a good one.
That's the one that sparked the conversation.
Sister Wives alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have like What Not to Wear, Dr. Pimple Popper.
Okay, so Freak Show.
Yeah, like just all of these shows where it's like they just were good TV, and like we just don't get that anymore.
Yeah.
It's because everyone.
Well, a lot of them are still on, right?
Yeah,
I feel like they're like some of the last TV shows.
I guess so.
That you have to watch with commercials.
Yeah. I was thinking about, have you ever been into an Airwan?
Never.
Neither have I. I'm convinced that Airwan is a social experiment.
Yeah.
Because, so it's like, everyone's like, oh, like, so LA, like Airwan. I lived in LA my whole life. Never once did I go there.
No,
and
LA is Sprouts.
And I swear it came out of nowhere like recently. Like Airwan.
I remember I first heard about it like 8 years. You know what? My brother Henry went there all the time.
I didn't know it existed.
And it's just money, right?
It's like, oh, do you want these grapes? They're going to be $32. Like right now they're selling single strawberries like for $19. And so that's like a big thing right now is people trying the $19 strawberry.
That's so stupid.
Right?
Because the reason why I don't like that is we went one time in LA to the most hipster coffee house fucking thing. And they had like $19 breakfast burritos. And I was like, you know what? We're going to get those. I want to see
like what is
if this is worth $19.
$19.
Newsflash, it wasn't. It was just made by a hipster.
Yeah.
And
everyone there was working on their screenplay.
Everyone there was working on their screenplay. And they were all wearing the same clothes. And they all were like, we don't conform. And if you're conforming.
You're conforming.
You're conforming more than me.
Yeah.
I'm wearing Gap. Always wearing the Gap. Sometimes Old Navy.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm just convinced that Airwan is not a real place and that it is a business that we're going to find out in a couple of years is a social experiment. They're going to be like, we just wanted to see if like these certain types of LA people are so conditioned to wanting to do the cool thing and the hipster thing that they're willing to pay these absurd prices.
That's a real thing though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a real element of that of when things are in, they're in.
Yeah.
And I mean, haircuts alone, men's haircuts.
Yeah.
Alone. It's so funny. I know for a fact, and it's one of the things where like, well, if you had hair, you'd maybe be different. Like, I know for a fact I would never change my hair. I'd be like, I feel silly. This doesn't feel like me. But the amount of people where you can go year by year and it's like, dude, do you literally just see what the number one person on TikTok or Instagram currently has? Like, They were like, how many people do you think that have the broccoli haircut now also had the Justin Bieber like 10 years ago? I feel like it's a pretty big number, actually.
Yeah, probably. Or does that kind of miss
the ages might be off.
The age might miss it a little bit.
Although there are people who are like my age who have the broccoli hair now.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's the look.
I guess.
It's what all the cool kids are doing.
That's what all the cool kids are doing.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I hear all the cool kids are buzzing their heads.
Everyone's getting a buzz cut
Everyone's
right now.
getting a 3 on top and a 1 on the sides. Yeah. That's what everybody's been saying, at least. That's what I've been noticing. They've all been doing. They said, "You get the 3-1." I said, "Yeah, 3 on top, 1 on the sides." Do you have the 1 go a little bit higher than typical because you kind of get the sides go faster? And they say, "Yeah, that's what I do." And I said, "Oh, cool, man. That's why you look so cool."
That's what all the cool kids are doing.
That's why you look so cool, man.
I guess tomorrow for us, and then the people who are listening to the podcast that will have already come out. Final episode of Severance this week.
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed because the first season of Severance was so good and it took so long for season 2 to come out.
What did I tell you after we watched the finale of Severance?
That we had to forget about.
I said, forget about the show.
That's where my sentence was going. I was like, I'm loving living in this little Severance world I've got going on right now. It's it's filling the gap that Succession left a little bit.
Yes.
And I'm not ready to let it go yet because when is season 3 going to come out? You know, is it going to be long again?
So when JD Vance is president, we're going to be looking at Severance season 3. Yeah. I freaking hate, they're doing the same thing with Stranger Things, but yeah, I've learned that of the second it's over, you have to be like, it never existed.
I know. I've been loving Severance.
It's the best show. So I'm finally going to say this. Succession.
Okay.
I'd say season 1 was really good. Season 2 was unbelievable. Season 3 was a letdown. Season 4 was a little bit better than season 3. But I actually
think so?
I don't think it was. I think that
I really liked it.
I thought like it wasn't season 2. Like season 2.
But yeah, because there was a really good like storyline. But I don't know. I liked 2 through 4.
But baby, they come up with the storylines. They could have come up with you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but like
Yeah.
I don't know. But I also think that like there are certain storylines that like you don't care at all about like
the romance
stuff.
But in Succession, almost all the romance stuff I was interested in because it was the politics of it.
Yeah.
Like that's where I think, okay, this sex scene matters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? As opposed to being like, hey, the episode's only 50 minutes. It needs to be an hour. Tell her to take her top off for 10. Like,
yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong. Appreciate it. Love what you're going for.
Love it.
But it's not, I'm in the show for the geopolitics, you know? And I just feel like Succession, weirdly, I just remember after we watched the finale being like, okay. Like I was kind of like, I'm tired. You know?
Really? I didn't feel that way. I felt like run it back.
Yeah. Well, we haven't watched it back yet.
I know. I think I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm down to give it a shot. It's hard to watch the first season for me.
See, it's really not that hard for me.
The first season, well, I know, but I'm saying for me because it's the first season is literally the same plot every single time, which is, hey, this guy Kendall really wants his dad's approval, and he just keeps on fucking up in the most cringy ways ever.
Yeah.
And so it's really hard for me because I'm like, it's like watching Scott's Tots.
Yeah.
He's basically Michael Scott and Scott's Tots again and again and again.
Yeah.
I'm being hard on Succession right now. I'm just trying to be a little bit edgy here, I guess. I'm just saying when Succession ended, I remember being like, like I wasn't like, make another episode. I was like, no, okay. Yeah.
I was like, it ended where it ended, but like I was bummed that it was over.
Yeah. I mean, I do love that show.
I loved Succession. Severance
right now, though, it's like I would take Severance over Succession right now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I think most people would disagree, but I would.
But I guess I just, I would take Tom, though, any day specifically.
I would take Tom.
Tom from Succession.
Succession.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd take Tom over almost every TV character.
Ever.
Hey, Shiv.
Hi, Shiv.
He's good. He makes you laugh. He makes you cry.
I know.
When he's telling Shiv.
You're intimidated by him sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
He's one of the funniest people ever. I'm happy that actor is kind of getting some new looks now, too. Even though he was, besides Brian Cox, by far the most successful before. He's like a real British actor.
Yeah, no, he's a working actor.
Yeah.
But he's so good. But I don't know if you guys, I feel like Severance is kind of like a weird little like cult where everyone who's watching it is like watching it, discussing it, and like in it.
Yeah.
And then everyone else just isn't. But like also, I feel like I can't recommend enough Apple TV.
Well,
they have the best shows.
The only reason it's a cult is because Apple TV is just like, we're not going to advertise.
You just don't even know these shows exist.
Meanwhile, Apple TV is like $5 a month. And they have every show that they have is better than everything on every other streaming platform.
Everything is so good.
And it's just amazing. It's just really, really good.
Yeah, because they have the morning show.
Which was really good. They had For All Mankind, which I can't recommend enough. I actually still haven't watched the last season because after a while it's kind of like.
I might be down to start that.
Babe. Don't say that if you don't mean that.
Because when you told me about it, I was like, oh, I would have watched that. But I know I'm tough sometimes to like convince to watch a show because I go through phases of not wanting to watch anything like serious or gritty or whatever.
Yes.
And so that's my fault. So it's not your fault. It's not your fault. I'm not fault.
I actually wasn't going to say it was my fault.
Okay.
I was going to say, yeah, it's your fault. No, I'm kidding. No, but what I was going to say is it's just challenging for us because it's like towards the end of the night, you can't watch anything too like thought provoking, not even gritty or intense because you're trying to go get sleepy.
Yeah. I need to kind of be watching whatever.
I can watch something thought provoking. Like what did I say the other day? I was like, you know how much of a psycho I am? Oh, I was watching the O.J. Simpson documentary and I was watching it. I was trying to fall asleep and I was getting sleepy. And then his old manager basically says, and maybe he said it before, but I thought it was like, how is this not breaking news? He said that O.J. admitted to him that he did it.
Oh yeah.
And I literally was like, oh, I'm tired. And I turned it off at that. I'm good with it being like, oh, Jaws just ate the person. Good night.
You're your father's son.
Yes. I can continue this tomorrow.
I was going to say the funniest story you ever told me about your dad was Project X.
He watched it over like 3 days. It's like a 45-minute movie.
Did you say he paused in the middle of the party scene?
The party scene. It's a scene.
He went to bed and then woke up in the next morning and fished it.
And fished it in the morning. And my dad goes, I loved that. And then the other one that my dad did was he watched the Straight Outta Compton. Over like 3 days. And I remember him texting me like watching Straight Outta Compton, loving it. And then he said, you can tell that Ice Cube and Dr. Dre were the ones who produced it because they are not so kind to Eazy. I wonder what he's thinking. And I remember calling him and be like, he's like me where if I tell him about a good movie, if I recommend something to him, he'll be like, okay, and what happens at the end? Like I'm fine knowing the twist.
I'm not. I
which is
to avoid it.
You're normal. I'm like, well, it's all the same to me. I'll still get the twists when it happens. But I called him. I was like, Eazy died like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
and I goes, oh, they're not being kind to him.
Yeah.
He's like, they're being very kind to Dr. Dre and Ice Cube. Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Big Mike's a good guy.
Yeah. Big Mike's a good guy. Did we ever talk about Paradise?
No.
Speaking of TV shows.
I feel like that sort of like felt like it had its moment, but it was a blip.
Like for us or for everyone?
For everyone.
I don't know. I don't really think that many people watched it. I feel like I've yet to really meet a person who's watched it.
Well, it's Hulu.
It's Hulu.
It was on like FX or something?
I don't know. I think it's just a Hulu show. So
it was really good.
Yeah. So there's a show on Hulu called Paradise.
And
it just was not what I was expecting it to be because I thought it was about James Marsden plays the president.
Yeah.
Which I'm like,
awesome. What can't James Marsden do?
What can he do? He's so underrated.
Yes.
I cannot, still to this day, I think the biggest Emmy snub in the world was him not winning for Jury Duty.
We'll get to it later, but he basically was Shohei Ohtani, where it was like, if he's doing something that literally no one else has done, if he doesn't win the Emmy, then
like because it was
what does someone have to do?
Because it was technically a prank show. I feel like that show Jury Duty really got overlooked.
I think it was here. Keep talking because I actually think let me look at the year he lost because I actually think that
there was some
like
other good
three
ones.
people. It might have been this last Succession.
Honestly, it might have been Succession. But so Jury Duty, if you didn't watch it, was like one huge recommend. But two, it's basically was just like this one guy who goes in for jury duty. Everyone else is actors, and it's a prank show to like put him in this like sequestered jury. And basically just everyone's fucking with him the whole time. He knows that they're being filmed, but he thinks it's for a documentary and he like doesn't realize that it's a prank show or whatever. But like, it's just a really good, it's like the first use of like true improv, I feel like, where it's like, and then James Marsden plays himself because it takes place in LA. So he's like, oh, James Marsden gets called in for jury duty. And like, they have him act like he is this like crazy celebrity and he's playing himself. And like, he does it so amazingly. Like he's literally playing himself. Like I just was like, and he got nominated and he didn't win.
Yeah. No, it wasn't a Succession year.
Who won? Is it like Barry or some shit?
No, even worse. It was the year where The Bear won everything because they're a drama and they were like, we'll be in the comedy category and just take it because everybody's like, comedy's not real. It's all drama. Stupid.
Yeah.
I haven't watched The Bear, by the way.
I haven't either.
For that freaking reason.
I know.
I'm like, bullshit.
I know.
Bullshit. The Bear.
The Bear. And I get it. It's like everyone loves The Bear, but it's like James Morrison should have won.
James Morrison was way more impressive than that guy. I'm just sorry. He just was. I haven't even seen it. And I can tell you what that guy did, I'm sure was really good.
Yeah.
And he probably would have won an Emmy maybe years past. Nobody has done what James Morrison did.
But anyways, James Morrison plays the president in this new show, Paradise, and Sterling K. Brown is in it too. And he basically plays like a Secret Service agent. And then it's like, oh. You
can't say it. It's to describe the show is to tell you the twist. And
okay, if you're going to.
Just watch the first episode of Paradise.
No, I feel like it sells it a little bit more.
No, it doesn't. The twist, baby, the twist sold me. I was like, oh, the show, what happened?
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Just watch the trailer and then watch the show and just know that there's a twist and it's not what you think it is.
The twist is the first
the
episode.
Twist is right away.
It's the first episode, but we can't say it because it's one of the better twists I've experienced in TV shows.
Yes, that's true. Okay, never mind. But so that's our rec right now is watch Paradise on Hulu. That's a good one. Yeah, I feel like we've been watching a lot of TV lately, so I'm like, I feel like we need to talk about it because we love stuff.
We love stuff.
We love stuff.
I've been watching that. It's on. I'm almost done with it actually. That show Adolescence on Netflix.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're almost done with it?
What?
You're almost done with it?
Yeah, because I'll rewatch it whenever you want to watch it.
Okay, I'm not really that.
I figured you weren't really going to watch it.
I would have watched it, but I didn't. I wasn't like, I need to watch it.
So here's why I knew you weren't going to watch it.
Okay.
When I say it's a British show.
Oh, you're right.
You will not be able to understand a single word anyone says. It is like comically hard to understand.
British people, why do you talk like that?
Why do you talk like that? I actually know why.
I was going to say, we do know, because they used to talk like us, right?
Yeah, this is what...
This is, if you guys want to pretend like you're freaking posh and shit,
yeah,
you guys sounded like us first. You made up your own little voice.
You know what it sounded like when King George was talking to George Washington during the Revolutionary War? It sounded like, hey, George. Hey, George.
Hey, George.
How's England? England's doing wonderful.
Yeah.
Isn't America great? And then they enunciated a lot more.
Yeah.
Actually, they didn't because their teeth were messed up, especially George.
And then those people, the Brits, kept freaking breeding with each other.
Well, it was not that. It was that the royals were, and then their jaws got sort of like this. They started talking like that, and then everybody was like, do what the king does.
And we all talk like this.
Talk like an idiot.
And it was just he.
Yeah.
His parents were siblings and shit.
And then they started coming up with weird slang like, you're taking a piss out on me.
Yeah.
And you're like, what does that even mean?
Yeah, you guys think you're so much more proper than us. And it's like, really?
It is
not even.
It is interesting in that show, Adolescence, because it's insane. Watch it. But they go through like the criminal justice system there. And there's a lot of stuff where it's like, because you know how like, it's not like the UK was like, oh, well, we're not going to drive cars because that's what the Americans do. They're like, we're going to drive cars, but we're going to do it different. We're going to put our seats on the other side for no reason.
Yeah.
They did that. They do the same thing with the criminal justice where it's like, they're like, you have the right to do this or whatever. It's like they used a thesaurus and changed certain words where it's like, okay, come on.
Yeah.
Okay, come on. It's like when the Catholic Church changed a bunch of the sayings. And it's like, okay. It's the
same thing.
It means the same thing. What are we doing here? Yeah.
What are we doing here? I mean, speaking of, actually, this isn't speaking of, it just made me think of it. Do you know like the most medieval thing we still do in today's society is?
What?
Going on strike. Standing outside of your workplace with like a picket, you know?
With a picket sign.
It's like the fact that it's like, strikes still happen today. It's like that. What a medieval concept.
The serfs.
Yeah.
The serfs are not.
We're not going into work. We have our sticks and our signs.
Yeah. What are you going to do without us?
It's the mob. Like
I think it was Iceland. They had a day. You can cut this. It happened recently, but in Iceland there was a day where none of the women went into work, and Iceland went on totally fine. Literally nothing shut down. And it was like the funniest. It happened like a couple months ago. And all the articles were like, this, we're not trying to be mean, but it's really funny. Literally nothing happened. They just didn't go into work.
I didn't know where the story was going.
Nothing changed. It was so funny. And there was a few people who were like, got a lot more work done today. It's like, yeah, it was less distracting.
Oh my God.
But then again, it's also like, well, Iceland has a different type of economy than us.
Yeah.
It's mostly fishing. Like, but it's just, it was the funniest. Like, I feel like I told you about it, but I like remember reading that. And it was one of those people were sitting around. I was like, no, this is like the New York Times wrote this. Like, no, this is a very liberal paper. It's just, nothing happened.
Oh my God.
You're right. Going on strike though is interesting. It also is interesting too with strikes where it's like, it's a really effective way, but it also, if done wrong, is like destructive.
Yes.
It's a stick of TNT.
Uh-huh.
Either you blow up the bad guys above you, or you blow yourself up, and everybody's like, well, my package didn't come on time.
Yeah.
Whose problem? It's Barry's problem?
Yeah.
Fuck you, Barry. You want more than $16 an hour?
Yeah.
What do you do?
What do you do?
You know?
I remember when I was like 4, my grandma worked at a grocery store and they like were going on strike. And I remember going to work with her to go on strike, like sitting outside the grocery store where they were doing that. And because I used to go to like work with like my mom or my grandma all the time. And I'd like sit either under my mom's desk or in the break room at the grocery store. And I remember being like, okay, I'm going to work with grandma today. And then being like, why are we outside? Why is
Didn't she own the grocery store?
I think
Didn't you, or your grandpa just managed the grocery store?
They were just clerks.
I thought your grandpa was the manager of a grocery store. Really?
They just were clerks.
That's a different time.
Yeah.
Because like they have a great house. Mm-hmm. It was a different time. You can
come from a family of grocers.
You can be a grocery store clerk. And you can own a great house. In LA.
I guess it was outside of LA and it wasn't really a city yet at the time. So but like
still with 4 kids.
But yeah. It could have 4 kids.
You have 4 kids.
Yeah. And you both work at the grocery store and could have 4 kids.
So they were mad at the owners.
Yeah, because they worked for like a Ralph's, like a chain, like type thing. And so it just was, but I just remember going to work with my grandma and being like, I'm going to sit outside while they strike.
I love, especially in hindsight, I love looking back on, like one of the things I actually love is, this is a sports thing, but I love looking at like, if you go to Wikipedia and you go to like NFL and just put in a year, there's always a tab that's rule changes or new rules. I love going through them and be like, oh, you used to be allowed to do that? Like just that stuff. I love looking through old strikes and be like, what did they want?
Yeah, what did they want?
Because sometimes it's like where it's like, oh yeah, you had to work 12 hours a day, 0 bathroom breaks. And you're like, well, yeah, they should strike on that. And then sometimes it's like ridiculous. Like, you guys want TVs in the break room? Yeah. Like, I mean, that's just like, I mean, it'd be nice, but it's not, I'm not like, wow, you guys are being mistreated.
I feel like I learned early on about like unions and stuff like that through this book I had as a child, which I'm like, it's one of my favorite books. It's called Click Clack Moo. If anyone's ever heard of that. And it's literally about cows on farm and they want electric blankets and the cows find a typewriter on the farm.
Yeah.
And so they write the farmer a letter and say like, we want electric blankets. And the farmer's like, no, I'm not getting you guys electric blankets. And so they're all like, they'll go on strike. Like, you can't get any milk from us. Yeah. And then it's like, so then eventually the farmer gives in and like gets some electric blankets and like, you know, it like goes on.
And this was a book you read as a kid?
Yeah.
So when the Republicans say that the left is indoctrinating our children with communist ideas, what do you say to that?
I said, wrong.
I say, click, clack, moo. I say, look at this evidence. This communist book, children's book, it taught my wife about unions.
These are the books they want to ban in school.
It taught my wife about class solidarity when she was like 5. Yeah. That's ingraining into her.
That resonated with me. But yeah, it's like, you know what? Yeah, stick up for yourself. Band together.
It's so funny because I'm so like 50-50 on unions where it's like most unions, not more than 50-50. Most unions were like, yeah, that's great. And then there are some unions basically in the entertainment industry where it was like, again, I mean, I told the story to you a million times, but like I was working for the Hairspray Live, the live musical Hairspray show. And when I say I didn't realize how many unions there was a stand-ins union.
Yeah.
And the stand-ins were dicks.
Yeah.
I was a associate producer. I was just moving. I was like, a stand-ins, you got to go back in. They're like, we haven't had our 45 minutes off yet. It's like from standing
in?
They're literally on their phones at work. They're just standing there.
They don't have to say anything. They're just standing in.
But they're required to have their own dressing room. It's like, oh my God.
I know. Yeah,
what?
Because it's like there are certain parts of the entertainment industry where it's like, yeah, like you're gonna need like rules or blah blah blah. Stuntmen, like
that's kind of it
like,
for me.
Any like the
grips.
physical, grips. It's like you need
electric,
any
sort of safety thing.
But the rest of it just always been like I just remember them always being like on sets or whatever. Even just for like the actors saying it was like this cart of snacks is for union only. And like the rest of the people on set who aren't union, it's like you don't get the granola bar. And it's like, guys, give everyone a granola bar.
Give everyone a fucking granola bar.
Fucking relax.
This is not very uniting of this union.
I know.
They I mean, nothing was funnier than when there was the actors strike, because we lived literally in the center of all the studios, our old apartment. And what was funny about it for us just was every day we would drive past hundreds of thousands of protesters, and the majority of whom we'd be like, none of them were working.
I know.
It's not like none of them are like, it's not a big sacrifice.
For them to strike.
Yeah. And then ones who it was a sacrifice for was like, they're millionaires. They don't need this. Okay, you ready for sports gossip?
Hit me, sister.
You brought me a new list of wags today, didn't you?
So like most people, I feel like the only athletes I really know are the ones who have like dated celebrities. So I have a list and I want you to tell me if they're actually like relevant.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, we'll start with Jordan Woods is dating Karl Anthony Towns.
Karl Anthony Towns is he's one of the better players in the NBA. I mean, he's an all-star. He was the first round. He was the number one pick, I believe, in 2015.
Okay.
He's definitely a very big deal. He right now there's actually kind of like not like a scandal, but a fun thing going on with him where people pointed out that he speaks with like two different voices.
He's just like you.
Yeah, like me. Like so sometimes he literally is kind of like this where he's kind of zesty.
Love it.
Sometimes he talks with like a zesty voice, and then sometimes like, yeah, you mean they did pretty well. Like, and he kind of goes in between. He's the one who acknowledged it too. He's like, I guess I have like two voices. Yeah.
You guys need a podcast.
But he's very good.
Yeah.
He's very good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so Normani from Fifth Harmony just got engaged to DeKaylin Metcalf.
Do you mean DK Metcalf? I think you mean DK. So I think you mean DK Metcalf. So, okay, so DK Metcalf is like a definitely a big deal. He's one of the better wide receivers in the NFL right now. Now he's with the Steelers. He was with the Seahawks. Honestly, one of the reasons why he's so relevant is he looks like Tarzan. Like he is beyond jacked.
Yes.
He's one of like the kind of like scarier looking individuals in the league. He's awesome. He's really badass.
I did see that Sierra and Russell Wilson actually set them up or introduced them.
Interesting, because he was Russell Wilson's wide receiver for a while. And oh my God, he's Russell Wilson's wide receiver again. I didn't even put that together.
OMG.
If Russell Wilson goes back to the Steelers, I believe.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's fun.
Fun. That's so fun.
But yeah, I thought that was fun.
I love that. I love that for them.
And then, okay, so Jessica Simpson used to be with Tony Romo with that rumored, kind of infamous prenup that happened.
I don't know anything about the prenup, but I can tell you about Tony Romo. Tony Romo, he's the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, so that alone makes him extremely relevant. Like half of NFL fans root for the Dallas Cowboys, and the other half hate them because half of them root for them. They're America's team, and he was America's quarterback then. He was never the best quarterback in the NFL, but there were times where he was like kind of like in the top third.
Okay.
He was a good quarterback in the NFL for a minute, and then he got hurt and replaced, and now he's an analyst.
Okay.
Yeah. Now he's a color commentator.
Color commentator.
He's now known for, when he color commentates, for being the guy who gets really worked up, like, oh my God, they're going, he's touchdown. Like, he's that guy. He's crazy.
Love that.
Yeah.
Brings the energy.
Mm-hmm. He's, again, half love, half hate.
Okay. And then our girl, Kim Kardashian, she actually has two. She used to date Reggie Bush. We'll start with him. Okay,
so Reggie Bush was a good NFL running back. But really what he's known for is he was one of the best college football players ever.
Oh, okay.
He was unbelievable. I remember being a kid being like, Reggie Bush is the end all be all. Some scandals with that. So he won the Heisman Trophy when he was at USC.
Okay.
But then like a decade later, I think it's the only Heisman Trophy that has ever been rescinded. Like they didn't actually, like the O.J. Simpson's Heisman Trophy was never rescinded.
Why did they rescind his then?
Because they proved that he was paid when he went to USC and that wasn't allowed at the time. A lot of people are very upset about it. Everybody's like, that's ridiculous. Half the players were being paid under the rug anyway.
But OJ gets to keep his.
And meanwhile, Reggie Bush is like reportedly the greatest guy in the world.
Yeah, he seems great.
Really great guy. He played for the Saints. He played for a bunch of teams after that. But yeah, like he was one of those guys where he was so good in college that his NFL career is actually kind of underrated.
Okay.
Like he was a good NFL running back, but he could not live up to being maybe the best college running back ever.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them.
And then the other one that Kim Kardashian dated, or actually was famously married to for like 72 days, was Chris Humphries.
Mm-hmm. So Chris Humphries, he was an NBA player. Like he started for a while. He was not a very good NBA player. Like he wasn't bad, but he never. I don't think he was ever an all-star. He never really did anything special in the NBA. I think that people confuse him with Blake Griffin, who was a very good NBA player.
Okay.
Because he and Blake Griffin could be twins.
Yes.
Like,
I was going to say, I get them confused a lot.
Like they have obviously like same skin tone, same hair color, same freckles, but also they have like the same, like very similar like jaw lines. Like they look like brothers.
Yeah.
And so I think a lot of people associate him with Blake Griffin, but Blake Griffin was an unbelievable NBA player, or Blake Griffin was a really good NBA player. Chris Humphries was an NBA player.
Okay.
And not much more.
Okay.
You know?
And I guess we'll keep it in the family. Khloe Kardashian, we've already covered her before, but she also was married to Lamar Odom.
Lamar was better than Chris Humphries.
Okay.
He was, I don't think he was ever an all-star. If he was, maybe once. He famously won the Sixth Man of the Year award. He was one of those guys where it's like again, like he was an NBA player. He was a good NBA player. I'd say he was above average in the NBA for a minute. But I'd say the reason why he's mostly known, even besides Khloe, is because he was on the Lakers with Kobe when they won a bunch of championships.
Okay.
And so anybody on the Lakers at the time is more of a name than they probably would be if they were on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Okay.
But he was a good NBA player.
Okay.
Yeah, he had a good career.
And then Eva Longoria used to be married to Tony Parker.
Okay, so Tony Parker was a very good basketball player. In fact, I think he's in the Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Many-time All-Star. He was the point guard, I believe. He was the point guard for the San Antonio Spurs when they won a bunch of championships in the 2000s and the 2010s. Very, very good.
Except then he fumbled Eva Longoria.
Yeah, I remember seeing that too and be like, that was one
dude,
of the,
it doesn't get better than that.
Dude, Eva freaking Longoria.
Like, dude, get it together.
You got the hot housewife. What are you
Literally.
doing? Like, they're all pretty, but she was like hot.
But she's like the hot housewife.
She's the hot one.
Yeah. And then Winnie Harlow just got engaged to Kyle Kuzma.
I would describe Kyle Kuzma as like an average to maybe a little bit above average NBA player. But he's very well known for two reasons. One, he played for the Lakers.
Okay.
That's a big deal. Anytime the Lakers are they're like the Cowboys of the NBA. Everybody knows
superstars.
Everybody knows the Lakers players. And then two, when he was traded from the Lakers to the Wizards, they were like the worst NBA team ever. So he was actually like the star of the team, even though he wouldn't have been a star on any other team. So he's like, I'd say he's better than Chris Humphries. I'd say he's between Chris Humphries and Lamar Odom. That would be that's where I would put him.
That's where you'd sandwich
of
him.
Like, hey, he's a freaking NBA player, but he's not going to make an All-Star game.
All right. I think we'll stick it there for the Wags today.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. I'll keep my list going, but the Wags are always good to touch on.
Baseball season's coming up.
Yes.
And while there are a lot of baseball storylines, one of the storylines that everybody says basically is like, this is the most impressive thing in sports that is happening right now, and it has maybe happened in the last 20 years that no one is talking about is just Shohei Ohtani. Okay.
I know who he is, actually.
You know who Shohei Ohtani is because of the amount of times I've said to you, why is no one talking about Shohei Ohtani on ESPN? Shohei Ohtani is a baseball player. He's from Japan. What makes him so special is that he is both a pitcher and a hitter.
Okay.
Let me explain why that's so unique.
I was going to say double trouble.
Double trouble, okay? So he plays both ways, like a bisexual.
I was going to say, by Queen.
Well, that might not sound, if you don't know baseball, that might not sound super impressive because if you know basketball or hockey, you're like, well, yeah, everybody plays both offense and defense. Football, Well, in football, and I'm just going to say this, and this might be a little bit controversial. A lot of NFL players could play both offense and defense.
Yeah.
You're basically doing the same thing, but backwards.
Yeah.
Okay. Like there's obviously quarterback. There's no like inverse of a quarterback, but like the other positions, like you could get away with playing offense and defense, especially the best athletes. Like DK Metcalf could play defense.
Yeah.
That would not be crazy. If he wasn't a wide receiver, he would be a starting, all pro defensive back on a team. Mm-hmm. The reason why there aren't that many football players who play both ways is because it's such an injury-prone sport. Why would you risk that?
Yeah.
And also, it's exhausting. Like, why would you have a player out there who's tired the whole time? Like,
yeah.
That's really the reason why players don't play both ways. Baseball, the reason why players don't pitch and hit in baseball is because those two acts are so different.
Yeah.
The act of throwing a ball and hitting that ball with a stick are like completely unrelated.
Yeah.
There's two totally separate skill sets. And so to get to the point where you're either a major league caliber pitcher or a major league caliber hitter, the odds of you being able to do both are like impossible.
Yeah. Because you're basically playing two separate sports.
You're playing two separate sports at an elite level.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, what makes him even more special is, I'll just say this too. There's a lot of like college players, like a lot of players in college will be a pitcher and they'll hit and they'll go to the pros and you're like, well, are they gonna be a pitcher or are they gonna hit? And it's like, you pretty much know, you're like, well, they're a way better hitter. Mm-hmm. And so why would we spend any practice time having them work on pitching when it's like, no, we want them to be the best possible player, be a hitter, be a pitcher, whatever. He is not only does he pitch and hit, he is one of the best hitters and one of the best pitchers in all of Major League Baseball.
Okay.
So, like, he won the MVP as a hitter the year he didn't even pitch. So he's an MVP level hitter.
Yeah.
And every year he's up for the Cy Young, which is the MVP for pitchers. Like he's arguably, there's a good chance there will be a year where he's not only the best hitter, but the best pitcher in baseball.
He has like the sports equivalent of like an EGOT.
Except that a lot of people have EGOTs.
Yeah.
It's like, so let's try to think of like, what is a thing, what is a way that somebody can be like a dual threat? So like you could say like, oh, it's like she can act and she can sing.
Yeah.
Like Lady Gaga, she can act and she can sing and she does both really well.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that's incredibly impressive. Other people do that too.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we have our Disney queen, Bridget Medler. She was an actress and a singer, but also she went to Harvard to study space law.
Okay. Now tell me this. Okay. So Bridget Medler, I don't know much about her, but you tell me if I'm right.
Okay.
Was she one of the best actresses on the planet at any point?
She was.
Be honest.
Be honest.
Be honest.
She was very good for Disney. Like she was a very good Disney actress.
So now.
She could have kept acting. If
Bridget Medler had kept acting, would she have won an Academy Award?
Maybe. Who's to say? She also could sing her little pants off, okay?
Would she have won a Grammy?
Probably. She could have if she kept going, but no, Harvard was calling, girl.
So
she started a startup for space law. She
came
down in a bubble.
Okay, is she one of the best space lawyers? You don't know the answer to this, so don't even try to answer it. Is she one of the best space lawyers in the world? Don't even try to answer that.
Yes.
Okay, so let's say she is one of the best. Let's say she is one of the best space lawyers.
And I think she adopted a kid or something.
Stop adding weird things to her resume. That's great. Okay, that's great. Stop adding weird things. That's great. Stop adding stuff to her resume. A lot of people adopt kids. A lot of people act. Are you really? Be honest. Would you put $1 million on the line that she would win an Academy, that she was an Academy Award level actress?
If she had stuck with it? Be
honest.
She would have won some awards.
An Academy Award? Would she have? I don't believe you.
I don't know.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
She was good. She just was young. And then she stopped and went to Harvard. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you, my friend. She did like a High School Musical Camp Rock equivalent movie called Lemonade Mouth on Disney. And I feel like those actors.
Girl, I've never even heard of that.
Because you're old. I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe I'm being hard on Bridget Mendler. Mendler or Medler?
Mendler. Mendel?
But I don't believe you. I think you're being very generous.
You just don't get Bridget Mendler in a show.
I just heard of her. The space lawyer / future Oscar and Grammy winner.
She can do anything and everything.
Okay, well.
She's going to be president and then you're going to eat your words.
Okay, then I will be like, wow, she's equivalent to Shohei Ohtani. That's the level you have to be. Okay? They're two completely unrelated things that you were either it's like you're either a carnivore or a no.
I don't know.
There's no real comparison. That's what makes this so challenging.
He's the J-Lo, you know?
Don't you dare say that. You know what I mean? Like we've already discussed this. Like the only way it would work, it would be like if you were both an unbelievable guitarist and an unbelievable drummer in the same band at the same time.
Yeah.
But no, that doesn't work because that's impossible.
No, it doesn't.
Like it's possible to be a pitcher and a hitter.
I know.
I
know. I feel like this is the hard part with him is like there's no one like him.
He's literally one of one.
Like he might get Girl Boss of the Year for sports gossip.
And here's a thing. So have you ever heard of, actually I'll phrase it better. So the last baseball player to ever be a very good pitcher and a very good hitter at the same time was almost 100 years ago was the last year he did it. His name was Babe Ruth. You've heard of him?
I have.
So he is basically the undisputed greatest baseball player of all time. It's what people will be like, well, he's the George Washington of baseball. It's like.
And he was white?
Well, that's a whole other conversation. The answer is yes.
Okay.
But
because I didn't think he was. And then I feel like my world got rocked like a year ago when I found out he wasn't. Or that he was white.
Well, there's a lot of debate because
so it's murky.
It's murky because he obviously played when like black people weren't allowed to play. So it's like, well, maybe he was. What was the term? Like undercover. It's like
he was passing.
Passing.
Yeah.
Maybe he was passing or something. But if you look at him, it's like he has like certain facial features where you're like, well, that's more typical of what you see in a black man. But then that's where we get into the conversation of like, well, the Irish. You know what I mean? It's like, that's a whole nother conversation of being like, why did we all forget about Irish people for a minute? And I'm Irish, I can say it.
Oh my God, happy St. Patrick's Day.
You didn't wish me one.
I know. I didn't ask you to be my leprechaun for St. Patrick's Day.
I would have slapped you and said, that's racist.
Why?
I don't know. We're not all leprechauns. And you're an O'Shea now too, Michaela. But yeah, I don't even know if this is clippable.
We'll see.
Or this is like a funny conversation.
I think it might be, but I don't know. It just sounds like he's just like the best. And
the point is, he is so undisputedly the best player in any sport right now.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes doesn't hold a candle on him.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, there's an argument to be made that he's probably like the best athlete in the world.
There's an argument to be made that he is, if he continues the way he's going, probably he only needs another 4 years. And most people would say he's the greatest baseball player in history.
4 years?
Only 4 more years. He's only played like 6.
That feels like a long time. He's been doing this for 6 years?
So, like, the best baseball players of all time played for at least 20.
No, I know. But, like, he's already been around for 6 years, like, professionally?
Yeah.
Damn.
So when he came into the league, so he started off in Japan. Okay. He played in the Japanese professional baseball league, which is Major League Baseball is the best league. But then there's Japan. Like Japan is the only one that even comes close. And a lot of players who do well in Japan, they just go right over. They don't even go to the minor leagues. They just go right to the major leagues because they're relatively equivalent leagues. He pitched and hit there. And the whole debate when he was coming over was, there's no way. Like he'll be able to do one, but not both.
Yeah.
Or he probably isn't good enough at either to really be in the major leagues. It's just sort of like a gimmick. Nope. He lived up to the hype. I think it was his second year. He won the MVP. It's kind of a cheat code though too, because it's MVP stands for most valuable player. And it's like, even if he was mediocre, he's the most valuable player in baseball. You get to add an extra person on your roster when he's on it because he takes up a hitter slot and a pitcher slot.
Yeah,
like it's a cheat code. Meanwhile, he's one of the best in the world at both.
What if?
Yeah.
What if he's not actually amazing at both? What if he's a secret twin brother and they swap out?
Prestige.
That would be fun.
That would be really fun. It would be like if LeBron James was LeBron James.
Okay.
But was also the basketball. You know? Like it would be like, it's kind of almost like that level of the insanity. He was both the ball and LeBron James.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like that's probably the closest comparison you can make.
Weirdly, that's the closest.
That and Bridget Mendler.
Let me really quickly tell you the one kind of fun scandal, though, with him, too.
Okay.
So a couple years ago, there was a huge scandal, though. So he doesn't speak English very well. Mm-hmm. He's also a cutie.
He's married, right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah.
There was a scandal a couple years ago. So he doesn't speak English very well. He's had a translator basically his whole time when he was in the major leagues. And like for a lot of these players, their translator kind of becomes their best friend because they're the only person they can really talk to.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of players in an MLB dugout who speak English, and a lot who speak Spanish, and a lot who speak both. Usually there's one player who speaks Japanese, and it's the Japanese player on the team.
Yeah.
No one else speaks Japanese. So they speak through their translator. And there was a scandal because all of a sudden it was like, wait, was Shohei Ohtani gambling on baseball? And his translator got arrested. And the funny part was his translator basically lost like $40 million gambling. He was not a very good gambler. And there was a lot of debate of, did Shohei Ohtani know?
Uh-huh.
And it was kind of one of those awkward things where it's like, well, no one can understand them when they were talking. So
nobody knows.
We can't prove it.
I say he's innocent.
Well, also,
who cares?
Even if he was guilty, Major League Baseball was going to be like,
we're going to get rid of him.
He's the coolest thing that's happened to baseball since Babe Ruth. No, there's been a lot of really cool stuff, but maybe he's the coolest thing ever that's happened to baseball.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's awesome. Huh. All right. That's the podcast.
Yeah. I think it's
10:30.
Sorry if we had a weird energy tonight. We're freaking tired.
I think we brought it.
I think we tried our best, and that's what matters. But come back next week, okay?
Mother Nature called for you.
Mother Nature called.
Poppy got a weird night's sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I just haven't slept in like a week.
I know.
No, like 3 weeks, actually.
Yeah.
We've been going.
Yeah.
Making that money. Cheddar.
Cheddar.
Love you guys. Towel off.
Towel off. Shout out Nolan.
Good night.